Round 2, episode 13, Veterans Day.
Don't believe him. This is our second time opening the show. It's all
Birds of
fake.
Prey.
It's all not real. It's all part of the system.
I'm Johnson Tyler McCrone, joined by
Logan Anstead.
Jarris George.
George Washington. Not Carver.
Today on Birds of Prey. We're talking about a very non-Veterans Day topic to begin. Blizzcon happened this week?
Blizzcon.
Was it this week?
It was
Last week.
last
week?
Yeah, don't throw me off like that. It was last week.
Yeah. A lot of new stuff came out. They covered basically like all of the properties. They covered Overwatch. They covered Diablo.
They covered Overwatch.
Hearthstone, World of Warcraft.
It was awesome.
Overwatch.
Yeah. They covered all of them. I think we should just get right
That
into the big thing that I think we're all most interested in, Overwatch.
Yes.
Sombra.
Sombra was
Quien
officially
es Sombra?
announced. The ARG machine is over.
It's done. Oh my
done.
gosh,
Yeah.
ARG is done.
God. Do one of you want to take up what her, because I don't know the exact details of all her like
Sombra.
skills or
Go.
anything.
Sombra. OP.
Take it.
So OP.
Already
Oh my
OP.
gosh, she is a goddess. Okay, so Sombra.
Keona S.
Keona. Wait, what? No, that's wrong. But anyway, Sombra is so strong, and she is going to absolutely shake the meta in the game. It's going to be very exciting. I got a chance to play with her on PTR, and it is a lot of fun. Her ult is able to shut down a lot of people.
EMP.
That EMP is absolutely insane. It's able to take down shields, take down secondary abilities, and also able to take down ults.
Does it work on Blade Dancers?
No, wrong game. Nobody plays that game. And if they did, it would. Also, her primary, her Uzi. Her Uzi is a 60 bullets in the magazine, right?
Blap.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. She holds it with one hand, makes no sense. However, no, not gangster style. But however, it's very comparable to Tracer. So with Tracer's
50% less damage.
Well, 50% less damage is
Does it shoot
arguably
faster?
because it shoots a little bit faster. You have 20 more bullets. I can take down, if I go into training, I could take down 3 bots with one clip. So it's pretty ridiculous. So I mean I like her gun. I think it's fantastic.
I love that she's finally coming in because we've had rumors of it for
Months.
An
oh my God.
awful era.
months.
I mean, it
Let's just
almost
say it's been a while.
ruined it completely how long they took to do it.
Almost.
But yeah, but I'm gonna argue that she's only gonna be strong in certain situations because what I was seeing in the PTR when I had friends playing and when I was watching was that she failed in every aspect unless the team comp was built around her ability because she's going to be an offensive character, right?
Yeah, she's an offensive character, yeah.
When you turn in terms of damage output and in terms of her abilities, the damage isn't the most significant in the offensive category. So she's not gonna be able to just like pick people off like a Tracer can or like a Genji can and like isolate them like that. I feel like she's not gonna. I feel like she's gonna be huge on the meta only if you have like a 6-man comp that can build around her. Because I feel like on her own she's not gonna be able to manage herself like a Soldier 76, like a Tracer, like a Genji.
I don't know. That's debatable because when she hacks health packs, she's not only able to keep the other team from getting the health packs, but also it regenerates that much faster.
She can hack health packs?
She can hack the health packs.
Her hack can like
So-
the health pack is just on the field. She hacks it so they can't take it. and
The
it's better
other
for
team
you.
can't take it, and then also
Yeah.
when you take it, that period where it has to pretty much respawn,
Yeah.
it goes by
And that's like
exponentially faster.
the right click. I think it is.
And then also her invisibility. Have
She
you
has
seen
invisibility
how fast you go with that?
Yeah.
Like you were able to flank. I was able to watch a couple people.
She is a Blade Dancer.
No, shut up. I was able to watch a couple streamers, a couple pro players. They were playing with her on the PTR, and I was able to get my hands on her, like I said. And you can flank very well with that. Right out the gate, being able to go invisible, you sprint just like Usain Bolt, and then you also have the teleporter, which is able to get you out of there if you're in trouble. The damage being reduced on the gun in comparison to Tracer isn't as bad to me because it almost scales like Tracer where you get those hitboxes that always land on the headshots. So you're spreading a lot of bullets, but you're hitting a lot of crit shots. And when you're hitting a lot of crit shots, you're dealing a lot of damage.
What I was finding is that I was going up against a lot of Mercies and a lot of my friends were going up against a lot of like, say, tank characters or even like squishier characters like, just Roadhog, not Roadhog, goodness gracious. Like
that's the
Reaper
least
and stuff,
squishy
like just the offensive characters. And like,
I do think squishy when I look at Reaper.
yeah. I was finding that Mercy was out healing the damage that people were doing with her SMG. So I feel like when you're on those 1v2 situations or on those 1v1 situations, a lot of instances where the characters can self-heal, like Mei or something, I feel like she's going to need to use more than just damage or more than just the hack. She's gonna have to use them.
She's not a slayer.
tandem.
Like she's not a
Yeah,
slayer.
she's not a
But
reaper.
that's what a lot of people are
but at
painting
the
her
same
as.
thing, at
Well,
the same
people are
time,
wrong.
you have to have a high skill cap. You can make her that way, but
Yeah.
she's rated a 3-star,
How would she fare
character because of that.
against Hector, Fernando, and Bomb King?
Well,
That's what I
she
want.
would definitely
Well,
hack them so they'd be irrelevant
yeah.
and shut
Well,
down their abilities.
When she actually hacks like other players, do they just get their ult, or is it like all abilities?
No, so you can hack their ult, but also, for example, if you hack Anna, for
Okay.
example, she cannot throw her grenade.
Okay.
So
it's
that's
like
going to cut
certain
out that healing.
abilities
There's certain
and
abilities that'll
ults.
get.
Wait,
for
is
example,
is she the main guy from Watch Dogs? Is this who we're playing?
shut up. So, like, for example, I was watching the clip and I thought it was absolutely the funniest thing in the world. Diva tried to take on the Sombra head on.
Okay.
Sombra was wearing the Diva down, so the Diva tried to fly away. Well, when the Diva tried to fly away, Sombra hacked her, shut off the jets, and so she was flying over a pit. So she had to come and turn around back before she fell back, but also her defense matrix.
So
was
like
down.
if a Sombra was up against a Fernando, she couldn't hack his shield down. Is that
If you get behind him.
if you get
you
behind
can't.
him?
Yeah,
talking
so
about
for like
paladins?
Reinhardt, I don't know why we're mixing the games.
So
but
it is. Like,
but it's valid. If you have a Reinhardt in front of you, you cannot hack through the shield.
But if you get
But if
around
you
them,
get behind
you
him,
can
you can hack him. His shield goes down.
so it
and
does
it's
take down
easy
like
picking.
all abilities. It's just you got to actually
Not
hit
all
them.
abilities.
Not all. There are
so
a few
like
that have some
passives like
caveats.
Soldier 76
Okay.
Sprint are completely
So
unaffected by the hack.
Which would have been
it's
great,
technical.
though.
It's technology abilities.
Yeah, for
Okay,
the most
that
part,
makes
So like
sense.
technology
McCree
ability.
can't throw his flash bomb?
Yeah.
He can't.
Can you? I haven't tried that one.
No, I
But
didn't.
I haven't tried that one.
That's
That's
the
a
thing.
good. That's a
We're
good point,
still
though.
learning because like when they released this stuff into the PTR, they released patch notes for all the other characters. But when they threw Sombra out there, they didn't, specifically
didn't
detail
clarify
everything that was going to happen.
everything,
So there's a lot of experimentation going on, and that's
Right.
still happening in Overwatch, where you're finding a lot of like how-to and tutorials with like how to counter certain characters. Like Ana came out so long ago, and we're still doing videos on like what the effects of
Best
her nano
ways
boosts
to
are
do
on certain
things.
characters. So it's going to be months and months worth of pros trying out different things, and then the rest of us kind of just learning.
Well,
They have
you,
Mythbusters
you
going on
speak
too
of,
for it.
of pros and all this jazz. How do you think Sombra is going to affect the new Overwatch League?
I'm telling
nice
you, I'm telling
segue.
you, she is going to.
Got
She's going to shake it up, and I'm really excited as far as the league goes because
Second time said shake it up today.
yeah.
with
I'm liking it. It's a
I'm
Polaroid
all
picture.
balanced.
If you
But-
saw the trailer for the league, like I
Pressure
think,
99 OP.
yeah, I think it's a really cool thing that they're finally giving people, I guess, a way in. Because like people constantly ask like, how do I become a pro player? Or like, how do I get to that level? And
They
I feel
have
like
the talent.
yeah, because I feel like Overwatch League is going to be that way. Now I'm kind of sad that it's restricted just to PC because I feel like Overwatch, kind of like what Rainbow Six Siege does, where
Master
they
Race.
can open it up to. You have the consoles that play, and then you have the PC that play, and you have those different leagues. Because
Right.
there are different skills and stuff. Because like obviously on PC, mouse and keyboard allows you to be quicker, and usually those matches are more. Usually you die quicker in those matches because your aim is just better. But like on consoles, for a lot of games like Rocket League, everybody plays with a controller. No one's gonna be playing with the mic because of
Yeah.
the way the movement is. And I feel like for Overwatch. I mean, they do separate patches for the console and PC models, and I feel like there's a lot of people on PS4 and Xbox One that would appreciate if Overwatch League was canceled on it. A small thing for now. I think eventually it could be expanded, but I'd like to see
I
it.
think
Maybe.
yes and no with that, but it's kind of like saying you can play Halo on you can play a Halo League on console, yeah, because it's restricted. But if you were to put it on PC, if you were to bring Halo, like let's say Halo 6 goes to PC, and now you're having Halo Championship Series. Nobody's going to want to play it on Xbox. Nobody's going to want to watch it on Xbox. I'll take that back. Because you're going to have all those people who played on Xbox who you got sniped down, and all these other people who are just really big. They're going to either convert over to PC or they're going to have to shift gears and go to a different game because when you see those big championship games, like you said, people die faster on the PC, but also the matches are more intense. You see things happen that you just won't see with a controller, and it's just harder to imitate.
I think
and it's more engaging.
I think it depends on the game because I feel like Overwatch is a game that has a longer time to kill than most. I look at Call of Duty. Like Call of Duty was on Xbox for 8 years, right? And when they started implementing the esports back in 2011, it was on Xbox for 4 years straight. And so when they finally switched to PlayStation with the sponsorship, there was a lot of pros asking like, is this really going to work? Like, are people going to watch this on PlayStation? And PlayStation put their support behind it, and now, the Call of Duty Championships have a huge viewer base every year, and I feel like Overwatch can be just the same. Now, games like CS:GO that are cemented on PC, where there are features on PC like the skins and the crates that are exclusive to that, that's holding it back. But every Overwatch feature that's on PC, except for the PTR, because consoles you have that blocking with patch rollout.
Right.
Every other feature is on the console versions, and there's still a huge player base. I play on PS4, and I have a great time on it, and I feel like there is the same level of competitiveness, even though the matches aren't as super fast, because it takes a longer time to kill because you don't have as accurate of an aiming thing. There's a different meta there, and there's a different system that I think is just as entertaining.
I think it's too easy, and I don't think.
What do you mean too easy? Like
Well,
on
like for
consoles?
example, I played consoles forever. I just recently started doing PC gaming, and
Traitor.
now that hey, you know what, gotta go with the winning side. But now like that I'm playing with PCs and you know I'm playing with the games and different things. Yeah, it's still a learning curve that I'm going through. 'Cause I'm still new to it. But when I went back and I went on my friend's PlayStation and I played Overwatch on his system, whatever. It was very easy. Just the game was just easy. I took the game, downloaded it to my PS4, put my profile on there, and I was just like, here, let me just play for a little bit. Very first game I played with Roadhog, and I have 5 golds. I had the gold in healing. I don't know how that happened, but I have 5 gold
Roadhog?
medals as
Yeah,
Roadhog.
the healing
it's
thing.
pretty.
Maybe you're just
pretty
not
sad.
giving yourself enough credit.
And like
Maybe you're just good at the
no,
game.
I'm just saying, but with the
actually the
controller,
best
it
player.
was very
I'm just
stiff.
pro
But
Overwatch.
the hooking accuracy I had, it was over 70%. Like I was.
Well, they're making a nerf to the hook
Oh, yeah, I
on
can't
console
wait for that.
especially.
That's gonna be great.
So I don't know that may be just your experience, but I know a lot
not
of
just
people.
the first game.
I
It
know.
continued.
I know,
Like,
but I know a lot of people. Who, I don't see any negative into moving the Overwatch League because it is such an awesome system that you have. Like, I mean, the trailer shows that you enter your username, you put it in, and as long as you play and you're good and you
grind.
progress through
Yep.
it, you can reach a level of pro player status, or at least you're in that kind of talk. I don't see any problem with making. I don't see any problem with making that into a console feature as well, or at least having a separate league. I see no problem with that.
a separate league, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe
It would
separately,
depend.
Yeah.
definitely. But there wasn't just Overwatch. It may seem
Right.
like that, but there wasn't just Overwatch.
That's
It
all that
was,
mattered to an extent. But
They also
sorry.
talked about Diablo a little bit, a new expansion or patch. Patch coming out?
I would say more of a patch than
Yeah,
anything.
it's
'cause
called
it's still going to be
An
reproduced.
expansion patch.
An expansion patch.
A patched expansion.
It's the return to
That's
the
what
original
Destiny
city
calls it.
in the Diablo series, like Trim Stand, I think
Yeah.
it's called, Trim Stand. And also the big thing about it is there's a new class.
Shrimp
the-
stand?
Necromancer.
Shrimp? Oh, not shrimp stand.
Shrimp Stand?
I thought you said shrimp stand.
No, I think it's Trim Stand.
I thought you said shrimp stain.
I think it's,
Oh
I think
my
it's the
gosh.
Trim Stand.
the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
Okay,
The
I was trying not to say it,
Clouding
but
our
you said it.
heads.
I was trying not to say it.
But no, there's a new class.
You successfully
Necromancer.
dated this episode. Well done.
I think you can talk a little bit more about like
Uh,
finicky Necromancer stuff a little bit.
As far as Necromancer, I mean, I didn't really get into Diablo. I had a lot of friends that played it, and I watched, and it was a game that I just felt like if you jump in too late, then it's kind of like not worth
Isn't
it.
necromancer those people who touch dead people?
Yeah,
Pretty much, yeah. That's a way to
Like-
say that.
like they bring them back from the
Questionably.
dead.
Oh, I thought it was
I don't
the
know
ones that.
Necrophilia.
No.
That's the one.
Yeah, okay. But no, the class in itself, I got to catch a quick glimpse of it or whatever. And just by going off of what Blizzard does, like I know they introduced a necromancing character in the Heroes of the Storm, and he's arguably one of the stronger characters in the game. I think it's going to help kind of revive the game a little bit. I know what Blizzard was trying not to do was get people's hopes up and bringing out another like Diablo title, and also like another expansion, because I don't know if they're really gonna. I don't know how they're gonna progress with it down the road.
Real
You
Money
mean like-
Auction House 2.0.
You're talking about an actual like Diablo 4?
Yeah, because I know a lot of people leading up to BlizzCon, there was just a lot of insane hype out of nowhere saying Diablo 4 confirmed type thing. They're saying like the trusted sources are gonna say
They're not
that
gonna
Diablo
rush.
4.
They're not gonna rush this
they're not gonna
out
rush
after
something
what
like
happened
that.
It's like
last
saying
time?
Half-Life 3 or The Last Guardian is confirmed.
Oh well.
But the Last Guardian is.
Last Guardians, we actually got some
see
proof.
it.
It's
Oh,
gone
I see
gold,
it.
man.
I believe
It's
it,
gone
in
gold.
my hands.
No,
I won't even believe it
Half-Life
then.
3, that's just a dead dream.
That's done.
Just give it up, people.
Rip in
but,
peace.
But as far as the class goes, like I said, I don't know a whole bunch about it, but I know as far as Blizzard's track record, and that's going to bring some versatility to the game. That's going to bring a lot of people back to play. Because I do know a lot of people who they do like to dive into Diablo 3 every now and again, change up the pace, and being able to run through it with another class, being able to offer something different, I think it's nice.
More content for a
I
game
know
you
Brandon
already
loves it.
have.
I know Brandon's gonna
Brandon's
love it.
in the control
And
room.
matter of fact, we'll probably sit down and watch Brandon play for a little bit, maybe
A
capture
couple
it. and-
hours.
and,
I'm
you
not.
know,
I'm
he's
not.
gonna
I'm not
see.
going to
few
complain about more
hours.
content for a game that I already
Exactly.
own. Like
Yeah.
it's just an added
Speaking
bonus.
of more content for a game we already know,
Oh.
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone.
I literally don't
The
care.
smoothest segues
So
we've ever had.
Hearthstone is having a new expansion. I'm
Yep.
gonna screw this up. It's the mean streets of Gagistan.
You're-
Gad.
And
We
you
don't need
made
to
it up.
pronounce it.
Gigstan.
You are making that up. I don't believe
It's
you.
it's like a goblin
That
city.
name
I
makes
think.
me
Yeah.
want to get.
They're like I think they're rehashing it because it's from I think the Warcraft series. It used to be like just a decrepit like goblin town. They're making it more like an industrial gangster town. I'm gonna sneeze. Give me a second.
No.
Do
Are you
wanna
gonna
pick
gag
this up?
too?
Is this making you? Is
Quick
this
vamp.
making you
Oh
really
no,
bad?
I have allergies right now, so that's why this is happening. Can you cut away from me? I don't want to see
who
this.
cares?
No, but
I wanna
but,
see this on camera.
but Hearthstone.
Oh no.
Hearthstone's the one with Blue Eyes White Dragon, right?
Anyways, Hearthstone. The one thing I will say about Hearthstone at BlizzCon, and somebody can kind of check up on me if I'm doing this incorrectly, but they're also trying to implement their own sense of a league that they're trying to start, and they're trying to make sure
can
it's a really
imagine.
big thing. Because I know they had kind of a minor Hearthstone tournament, like all the games all the games talked about at BlizzCon basically had their own league. You had the Overwatch Open, you had Heroes of the Storm, you had the Hearthstone thing. So I think what it is more so is they're really trying to dive into that mobile platform and make it bigger and better, because Hearthstone obviously is not for the PC. You can play it on there, but it's more for the mobile platform. And I think
Which is
the
why I don't
expansion
play it.
is it's just something to kind of keep people in
Make it great meeting
entertained till
too.
they get home.
I definitely think they're trying to like kind of mix up the system a little bit, make it more complicated, because this new patch, the big thing is they're introducing tri-class cards, which are cards that can be used with multiple classes that do multiple things. So they're trying to make it a little bit more.
I've never been
intense.
so confused about a discussion in my entire life.
haven't
I
played
have
it.
no
You
idea.
take the Earth plane and then you put that down.
They're making Magic the Gathering
I'm just
easier
excited
for all of
Pokemon
us.
comes out next
Exactly.
week.
Wait,
All right.
I haven't played Hearthstone, but I feel like that'd be a perfect game for the Switch, right? It's on the console, and you can take it and go. You know what I'm talking about, the Switch?
I had
Oh.
not thought about that
It
though.
could
That would be something
But-
good. I mean, they
that'd
didn't.
be a stellar launch.
It'd be
title.
it'd be
But
better
we're
than trying to
running
say
out of
let's put it on the
Right.
Vita.
Speaking
But
of games that aren't on the Switch, Warcraft also has a new.
Oh
I
my
believe it's a new
gosh.
patch that's coming out. Maybe not an expansion.
Dude,
It
you see the
goes-
it's
movie?
not an expansion.
I did see the movie. It was okay.
You actually saw it.
I saw the movie. I thought it was okay.
All right.
This is for a different episode, though. About how I like Warcraft. So they're talking about going to space, to a different planet,
Just space.
to space.
It's,
the
Call of
planet
Duty.
Argus, where demons are from, apparently, or something.
Demons are from space.
Apparently, demons from Argus are bombarding Azeroth, so we gotta get in our space jets. and
Again,
go
you're
find
making
them.
this up. You have to be.
This is all real, guys. It's Gears of War, Warcraft.
People still play World of Warcraft this much?
Oh my
Oh, yeah,
gosh, that
yeah.
last
Oh, yeah.
expansion, that's all you ever see.
I heard Legion was good, but people are still.
They are
Oh, yeah.
destroying
What's
that
the one
game.
with the big panda
Well, good
bears?
for them. I'm not gonna.
Didn't that just happen?
Panda Town?
Pandemonium?
It's
Panda
something.
Town?
It was something.
But-
Oh no, I remember.
But
Do you
no,
think
like
this is like kind of a jumping the
Panda.
shark moment, or like a good expansion?
I think they're riding the wave.
Yeah.
After their last expansion that they did, like you really saw an influx of people playing WoW again. And when you go onto your, I know it's not called Battle.net anymore, but that account, and we're not gonna go into that. But when you go and you look, like it used to be, okay, Overwatch releases, bam, you just see
Yeah.
Overwatch nonstop. You might see one Heroes of the Storm, maybe one, Hearthstone or whatever. And then once the expansion came out, all you saw was just WoW.
Bunch of nerds.
Wow.
Bunch of nerds.
Bunch
Just-
of nerds.
Brian, you
having a
you
bunch
message
of
them too
fun.
and be like, dude, you've been playing this for the last 24
were
hours,
a
or is
sim
your
for
computer
Halloween.
off?
I
What do you
I
mean
wanna hear it.
24 hours?
I was like,
You're
I
trying
was
to
like,
play Spider-Man and sat in the position. What do you call me?
All right, all right.
all right,
All
anyways.
right, girls, calm down, girls.
And said, I've been waiting, let's go.
Put your fingernails
But
away,
no,
girls. Calm down.
but really, I think with something like this, it brings some versatility. It brings something outside the box, even though WoW already is outside the box.
I think because
I think it's nice though.
With the Panda expansion, they were kind of like jumping the shark a little
What was
bit.
the name of that so we can stop calling it
It
Panda?
has to have been
idea.
Pandemonium. If it
was
wasn't
gonna
Pandemonium, then it was a
But
big missed opportunity.
Just to tie it all together, I think they're finally coming back with Legion and with whatever this is going to be called. I think they're coming back to the core. World of
Pandora's
Warcraft.
box.
I think it was called like it was the name of the place. It was the name of the place.
Regardless, BlizzCon 2016 was pretty
It was
fantastic.
good.
It was
was
nice.
good.
It was
Very good.
a
A lot of good
different
stuff came
change.
out. A lot of
and it
new
was
stuff
nice.
came out. Just to before we go to break a nice
Cheers,
little
love.
thing. South Korea won the Overwatch Cup. I saw
Oh my
that.
gosh, South
Oh, what
Korea
a surprise!
dominated.
What a
Oh
surprise!
my gosh, I felt
Yeah.
bad for everybody that played
So-
against them. Like it was.
Wait, what did they win?
They
Overwatch
at
Cup.
life.
Oh.
The World Cup, yeah.
True.
So they won that.
They won that life.
So we're gonna take a quick little break, then we're gonna come back with a segment that isn't necessarily new, but it's kind of new for us.
It's gonna be
We're
interesting.
gonna talk about some things that we don't normally talk about that I want to start talking about. So we're gonna roll a break
Who wants to talk about it?
now.
Hello, my name is Jack, and this is Fancy Time. All right, thank you. That's all.
That's Drake.
Drake? What is it?
So Francis Drake?
Whatever.
Oh, you guys
Are
ready
we
to start?
start? Yeah.
Yes,
let's-
Last name greatest. First name ever.
let's definitely
Get
do
out of the
that.
chair. What are you done with this? All right, what are we talking about?
Thanks for joining
What
us.
we're talking about, well, first I want to say welcome back from that break. You know what we're talking about?
very
We're talking
unprofessional.
about Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm very excited for it.
Can we
The
agree
reason-
on one song?
What?
No, y'all were singing two different songs.
Yeah,
Two
we're
different
singing
Star Wars
different
songs.
parts of the same
It
song.
was
The main reason I want to talk about it is this is
Because you're a nerd.
mainly a gaming show. I am a nerd, but I also want to get more into the culture of anything.
Yeah.
And it is relevant today. There was a new Japanese international trailer showing some
was
new
pretty
scenes and
cool.
everything. Very cool.
Pretty cool.
But the
Very
main reason is because this is it's a departure, I think.
What
How?
does that even mean?
It was in Japan. It was in Japanese. The international trailer was in Japanese. The one I
the
watched.
text was in Japanese, but the
Yeah.
trailer
I'm
was
just gonna let-
English.
I'm gonna let this roll for a
All right,
minute.
sorry. All right.
just gonna let
I
that
just-
sit
that's
just-
just-
I'm
It's
just
very
gonna-
Japanese. I feel very offended.
But the main reason I want to talk about
Triggered.
it a little bit about the actual trailer, and then more about just Rogue One in general, because it's a breakaway from the Star Wars mold.
I hear it's
Right.
a Star Wars story.
It's a Star Wars story. It's in the same canon, but it doesn't follow the main, I guess, overarching plot of like
Right.
the Jedi's and Luke and all that. Like it's not. It's a different story, so it's very interesting. First, just general like the trailer reaction from the Japanese trailer. What do we think?
There was no Jedi, no Sith, no
Good.
Force.
Good.
These are all good things. You say them like they're bad things.
That's bad
It was-
things.
why-
I want to see people get cut up.
No,
I
man.
want to see people
I've
get
seen-
pushed
I
away.
know there's-
Mind screwed.
There should not be a single lightsaber in this movie.
But there was Darth
But
Vader.
they're-
in it.
yeah,
And Darth
but-
Vader shouldn't have to use a lightsaber because he's Darth Vader. Okay, he should be able to like.
That's
Use
true.
force powers?
Yes.
That is very true. He should be able to just force choke the whole
he
building.
only
the whole
uses
room and
lightsaber
just-
when there's another lightsaber.
I thought it was
know what? That's a good
awesome
point.
because it was different. Because
Exactly.
it's not what
It-
I'm
it
expecting.
was.
And that's what
Yeah.
happened when the first trailer came out. Like, I saw that, I was like, this is a Star Wars movie? Like, you could see, like, oh, like, the Death Star's there. You have the fighters and everything. It's like, but where's this whole overarching, like,
That's the
BS
thing.
story? It
Right.
isn't there.
The
It's
big-
just completely different.
The big
It's
three
awesome.
things I took about it from the first trailer was one, it doesn't rely on the same John Williams music all the time, which is great because it's a cheap grab. Two, there's no like lightsabers and Jedi's in it, so it doesn't rely on that trope over and over again. And
Hopefully.
three, it's not like a giant crazy adventure. It's just it seems like a real thing that would actually happen. It's like, oh, here's this thing, we need to figure out how to beat it. Go be espionage.
Well, it's a
and go in
segue
there.
story. It's
yeah,
not
exactly.
supposed to- it's not
it just
supposed to
it feels
have
like
that
more of a real story than
It's the first
Some of
fight
the
against
Star
the
Wars
space
movies.
Nazis.
I love how
Yeah.
we're trying to say it feels like more like a real story than the Star Wars story. We're
Exactly.
talking about a Star Wars universe.
I
and
just
we're-
like that's like it's not as corny. It's not as like cheesy as the other
No,
ones
it's
where
not.
like-
It's not. Oh, there's a great prophecy. It's
Yeah.
oh, hey, your dad sent us this message.
Yeah.
Can you help us
Spoiler
fight?
alert.
But
You'll
but
see
what
the
I
trailer.
wanna-
You'll watch the trailer if you watch the show. It's no spoilers.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
How many midichlorians does the main character have?
Probably at least like
20.
3/4. I think 3/4 of her body's midichlorians.
Wow, that's a lot of midichlorians.
I think it's gonna be. It's,
She
Anakin Part
sneezes and a bunch of
2?
midichlorians.
they have to play into some of the tropes. It's gonna be at the end. She does some force thing, probably.
Some
Well, and probably
She
hacks everything.
You're assuming that everybody's gonna live through this movie. There's not gonna be a sequel to Rogue One, right?
That's true.
You don't see these
Yeah.
characters in Force Awakens, so maybe they'll
Well,
die.
we do know they succeed.
Or Force
As
Well, I
long
was
as
about to
Forrest
say, but
Whitaker
isn't
does
this-
never mind.
Isn't this in between episode 3 and 4?
Right. I meant
Alright,
you don't
so-
see him in A New Hope.
I didn't start
Okay,
the timer.
true. So, well, I mean, I don't know. It may be we see them like on their deathbed or something. We don't
Yeah.
know. But
That's what I'm
I think it's
This-
it's nice, to have something new, like you guys said. The first trailer that initially came out, like I like Star Wars and everything, but I was just like, all right, cool, a new movie. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't like,
For the first trailer, they relied on like kind of the
Losing my
cheesiness and
brain.
the corniness of general like Star Wars
So,
in it.
But my hope is that it stems away as much as possible from
the mold.
The mold. So like
Yeah.
you don't have like I talk about the prophecy thing, but I also talk about how Star Wars is owned by Disney now. Like I don't need this grand like and there's a happily ever after or like
Exactly.
what
we
I'm saying.
saved
It
the
doesn't-
galaxy at the end. Like it would be awesome if they just completely fail at the end of this.
No.
but
Well, we
it-
know
but,
they-
like,
will fail.
No, but
Yeah.
no, but like
You mean
they,
like their
they
lives
don't.
and-
Yeah, no, but
yeah.
they don't show any like they don't show in the films afterwards.
Dun, dun, dun,
Because
dun, dun,
this
dun, dun, dun.
inspires more rebels, right?
He's throwing.
Right. This does inspire more.
I know
rebels.
they fail. Come on.
Okay,
And
but
that makes
what
sense.
I'm most excited for, and I agree that this should be different, as different as it can be, but Darth Vader's in the movie, right?
Right.
And we don't know how much of a role he has.
Right.
I
Yeah,
hope he has
something
a
like
huge
that.
one.
Now, this is Darth Vader's prime, right?
Exactly.
And I'll tell
We've
you why,
never seen
because
this.
this is years after he's becomes Darth Vader.
Right.
And
Chopped
this
up
is
on fire.
before he learns about Luke,
Right.
which distracts him and weakens
Makes him weaker because
So this is his prime. This is when everybody in the universe is scared shitless.
This is when he's cutting up Chewbacca's all over the place in Force Awakens.
This is when he just blows up towns with his mind, and then everybody's
Exactly.
like,
Just because he can.
yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be majorly. I think there's gonna be at least one or two scenes where it's about just that happening. Because the main bad guy is I forget his name. It's the general. Like he wears the white suit
The
with the
guy
cape.
from Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah,
He's
it's
like
that guy.
He's like blue in the comics.
Which I'm also very excited to see a
Thrawn.
bad guy.
Is it Thrawn?
Thrawn, maybe.
Thrawn.
Is it?
I'm very.
No,
I
it's
don't
not.
think it's Thrawn.
It's not Thrawn.
It's not.
Is
I don't know. We'll
definitely-
fact check it
Anyway,
later.
I'm very excited to see a Star Wars villain that isn't an old Jedi that's just super evil with magic powers. It's just a guy who's a good military.
Force
dude.
Awakens was a young one.
Exactly.
A
Like
good military dude.
well, like good at military stuff. You know what I'm.
Good
you know what I
at
mean.
military stuff.
Good at the military thing.
Happy Veterans Day.
Happy
everyone.
Veterans Day.
But you know
Told
what
you
I
we were
mean.
tied in.
Another thing that I'm very excited for is this new trailer, especially showed off some of the bigger like cinematographic things.
It
with, like,
did look
Movie
good.
looks
Cinematic,
The
cinematography.
with the CGI stuff, like
Yeah.
it showed them going through a plant that maybe was being destroyed or something. It's just collapsing and everything. I think it's the guy who made who directed the new Godzilla movie. I'm blanking on
Gareth
his name.
Edwards.
Gareth Edwards. He's very good at because
How
he
would you
made
know that?
Monsters before that. What's it called? It was called Monsters, right? Do you know?
I don't know.
It was called Monsters before that. Like he's made movies where it's just big, very big objects that look pretty realistic and interact in a very real way. And I'm very
should
excited to
film
see that.
If
applied
they
to
do the
Star
same
Wars
thing
film.
that they did with The Force Awakens, where like most of their props are actual tangible scaled models and not
BB-8.
just CGI stuff like the prequels were, like more power to them. I'm also excited about the change in scenery for a lot of
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen
We
the
saw
fights
a lot
with
of different planets.
yeah, because we've seen the fights like with the beach and stuff, and like that's completely different. Like
Beach,
we haven't seen
desert,
that. Yeah,
City, space, Death Star, Rebel
Falling
base,
apart planet.
falling apart planet,
Toys R
spaceships,
Us.
Toys R Us.
there's gonna be fights in the Toys R Us for the toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing that I'm kind of excited for, and this is a thing that I think like in the moviescape, especially with like the nerd culture movies, that's kind of a problem is
I think they call it pop culture.
pop culture, whatever the kids are calling it these days.
Yeah, it's no longer nerd culture. This is an overarching.
But it's
thing.
like applying grittiness to like shows, to movies, and like concepts. Like when they
Applying
said like the grittiness,
Oh.
like to have a gritty thing. Like when they said the new Batman versus Superman, it looks like very gritty and like that goes against kind of like the mold of
Are you saying gritty like dark?
like dark and like it's more of like kind of a serious concept.
Like when you rub it in your hand, you're like, ew. I don't
But
know.
Batman
Because, like-
vs Superman
that's
didn't
not
execute on that very well.
Exactly. What I was gonna say is like the Force Awakens. People can say like, oh, it's a bit more like gritty and everything, but there's still like
It's a rehash of A New Hope.
there's kid
I don't
kid
know
funny
about
moments
a
and stuff like
rehash
that,
of
and
it.
like
I think it's a
say
there
different.
was a lot of the
I think
same-
it's a
Well, like-
different.
yeah, I guess, but it's like a different kind of I don't know.
I'd say the Empire Strikes Back is
I know
prettier than
exactly.
I thought that I
No,
lost
I know
it.
exactly
I know what
what
you're
you're saying.
saying. Yeah, I get
there's
it.
a darker undertone of like
That's what I
the
was gonna
themes
say.
in it.
Like the themes of all the Star Wars movies, it's like, oh, if we fail, like the entire galaxy is just like under Nazis.
Oh no, I haven't heard
Like
that
that's
7
the overarching
times
story.
before.
And like in the middle of the Force Awakens, you have like where they destroy the bar. Like civilians are just dying left and right. Then you have Han Solo like, hey Chewie, give me your gun. Oh, this is great, murdering people.
Yeah, right.
Like,
It's not a very
very
gritty movie,
weird.
I would
And then in
say.
this one, you have
undertones.
Forrest Whitaker being like, "I fought them before."
That's what I'm saying.
We're
Like
gonna
it
die.
seems like not really
Go Forrest
gritty,
Whitaker
but
face.
like darker, like more serious. Like there's that one shot that they keep showing, which I love, where like they're trying to get to a space. Like there's not a lot of story around it, but they're trying to get to the starship, and like they're just shooting, and you see the one guy just like against cover, like maybe bleeding, like looking just like completely
Like he
distraught.
knows he's gonna die.
Exactly. Like that's, those are the scenes where it's like it's very powerful, and it's actually like the serious undertone that the Star Wars movies kind of like forcefully generate.
So what you're saying
is
If
is
actually
they can,
being
if
like
they can
compounded
make this
upon.
feel like war, that will be
Exactly.
I was about to say
significant.
that's what
Yeah.
you're saying. You're
Exactly,
saying that it
yeah.
feels more down to earth as far as like you're in war and you realize
Yeah.
It feels tangible.
I might die. Like,
Exactly,
You know,
like-
this
Because
might be
you
it.
don't
And
really
it's-
get that feeling from the other
Yeah,
Star
because
Wars films.
what you
true.
normally have is a bunch of guys throwing colorful swords and like a bunch of
Wait, how do you
stormtroopers
do
missing.
that again?
We're gonna GIF that later.
Or
I feel
like you have people like in Force Awakens again, like escaping the Millennium Falcon. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we did it. How did we do it?
Yeah.
Like you could have just died.
But that's why
ship's
I think
garbage.
Exactly,
that's why I
yeah.
think the difference of this is that these are characters that aren't like prophecy-driven things. Like these aren't like, you know, they've always had the Force, or this was always supposed to happen. This is kind of like, these are characters that are fighting for. They're fighting for a cause. They're expendable, but I feel like if they can truly make us care about these characters, in the point of that, this is a war, and not just like a bro-tastic like Call of Duty, like, oh yeah, let's go kill whoever because they messed up America or something. Like, if they can make it a tangible thing where I feel like it's war from the opening scenes, then the movie is going to be successful from a difference of, you know, this isn't just the Star Wars stuff we've always seen.
I think pertaining to the story, I was just saying, I think pertaining to the story arc of it, I think I'm most excited for seeing how it actually does end, because we were talking about, we know they're going to fail. We know that most of them, if not all of them, aren't going to make it anywhere past this. So exactly. So, but what it is, when you watch The New Hope, you know, you were always like, hey, they will always talk about a lot of people died to get this information. A lot of people, you know, died, you know, trying to give us the plans for the Death Star. So now we understand, you know, whatever, you know, maybe 3 or 4 people. But now it's like you get to see what did they go through to really get the plans for this weapon who was going to, you know, plan to destroy everything, you know. What's going through the people's minds when they're saying, okay, if we do fail, like he said, not only do we understand it's probably going to be hell for everybody else, but that's just game over. Like, it may be more pressure for them. So I think the story arc, if they can nail it, which Disney does a really good job with stuff, I can't be mad at them. I think if they can nail it, that's going to be.
I think critically it'll be received well. I'm worried about how it'll be received commercially, simply because it's so different. I know it still has the Star Wars tag on it, but it's not one of the main sets of films. I think it's gonna make less than a Force Awakens. Yeah. But I hope that if it is different enough and they do really execute on these things, that the commercial success follows a hopeful critical success.
Yeah. I think
something we haven't talked about yet is that it is a prequel. Yeah. That makes it a Star Wars prequel.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
It's an interesting thing, because you know how it's going to obviously size up to the big 3,
to those other ones,
the big 3, the important 3.
But I forgot to start the timer. We have breaks. I don't know much time. I'm going to give like probably a minute 30 seconds. You mentioned Call of Duty before. Call of Duty features a little country we like to call the United States of America. Today is Veterans Day, so I just want to take a little
Veterans Day.
Probably not as much time.
Wait, can we all just say thanks to all the veterans real fast? We never like officially said thank you.
Thank you.
So I definitely want to do that real fast.
You fight for us, so we don't have to. We can do this show, which is stupid.
Yes, that is all truth.
I just want to take a quick
round. I hear that
round.
Actually they all watch this show overseas.
Every single United States soldier watches this show live. It is fact.
All right.
Anyway, I just want to take a little circle. Like the game that you've ever mentioned, a game that you feel is like either very patriotic to you, just in general, you feel like, I don't know, like a good sense of like American fervor, I don't know the right words, but just a game that you play, you know, you want to feel like patriotic, you want to feel like, yeah, America is a country.
Yeah, that's the place that we live.
I guess we'll start kind of this way, just a quick little like dimension. And
I mean, I guess it's not so like super patriotic, but I guess it's kind of just like respecting the sacrifices. No, the sacrifices of war, Valiant Hearts. It's a puzzle game. It's not a first-person shooter. You're not killing anyone or anything, but it's not completely from the American's perspective, but it tells the story of World War I, kind of like Battlefield has done recently, but from a puzzle game perspective, and it really does hit you home. It hammers home the loss and the sacrifice that so many people made. So I really appreciate, especially Ubisoft, for taking a risk on that artsy game.
Oh, definitely.
To go forward with it. So
yeah,
Valiant Hearts. Check it out if you haven't.
Great game. A+.
Cheap game.
For me, honestly, I was thinking of something within the Tom Clancy series, because you know me and FPSs, but I just thought of this one. Actually, I'm gonna say SOCOM.
SOCOM.
Yep. I'm gonna say Medal of Honor and SOCOM. SOCOM. It was just, I remember that series. It's long ago, but you really felt like you was doing something for America when you were playing that. Like you was going undercover, you was going, you know, Navy SEALs. You really got a glimpse of what they do, because they did a lot of research for those games. Yeah. And that's something that I like. They did their very best with what they had and the tools that they had to make sure that you really felt like you were going through what they went through. And some of it wasn't that pleasant. So
rest in peace, Super Interactive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But that's me.
I'm gonna give a little bit of an upset. I'm gonna say a Call of Duty game.
Oh
wow!
I'm gonna say World at War.
I knew that was coming. I knew somebody had to say it.
A lot of scenes in that game, like when you're on the Black Cat, when you're invading. I think it was Iwo Jima. It was one of the last Japanese levels.
I mean, brutal.
They're extremely brutal. You can really like feel the impact of what was happening to these, men who are fighting in this foreign land and everything. You can really feel it.
Young
guys, especially like when you have that choice, where what is it? Like the two American characters that you were with the whole time, like they're being grabbed by Japanese soldiers, and you gotta
choose one.
save one, and then like you always save Keith Sutherland because why wouldn't you?
Keith Sutherland, man.
Yeah,
24,
designated survivor.
And he has this like great, angry speech about it, and like I really like the games, like you said, Valiant Hearts and Battlefield 1. The games that they're fun, but they also do service to the memory of the people who had to go through those
Definitely.
like human tragedies. So
before I name my favorite patriotic game, I just want to say that back in Veterans Day 2009, I had the day off and I played Uncharted 2, and that was the first platinum I ever got. And I just always remember it was on Veterans Day.
Thanks, America.
Yeah. So, but going back
to
so my favorite patriotic game, when I think of America and I think of veterans, I think of Metal Gear Solid. Especially 2 and 4.
Definitely.
Subtitled Sons of Liberty and Guns of the Patriots.
Yes.
Especially 2, the ending is it's bonkers, but the whole thing, it ends in New York City. You fight the president,
right?
And it's like spoiler alert, and it's it's really old. It's like 2002.
I was about to say nobody played.
You've had over a decade to play it.
And there's this huge speech from Snake about why America and the system sucks in that game.
Yeah.
And it's just, and Metal Gear Solid 4 has a very similar thing.
Yeah.
Those are very patriotic games.
And just to tie a little bit, like Metal Gear, especially, at least in my opinion, like Metal Gear 5, they show, like they're all anti-war games, like hugely anti-war. And they show like the...
Anti-war by killing everything.
Exactly. But especially like Metal Gear 5.
You get rewarded for not killing anybody in those
games.
Oh, it's very true, very true.
Metal Gear 5 like showed like the tribulations, is that the right word?
Tribulation.
Is that a word?
That is
it's
the
a
word.
word.
Yeah, like the tribulations that soldiers go through, and like the fears.
Okay, yeah.
Because the whole point, if you guys, I don't know why I'm going this, but the whole point of Metal Gear, the whole point of like the boss's struggle is to create a society for soldiers to go to after war happens.
Right.
Because in that world, soldiers are just used and then they're forgotten and then they're just messed up in the head. So the whole point is just creating a safe zone for soldiers and then eventually creating peace out of that by getting nukes, which doesn't work out, but that's going into the meta.
And then if you want to play a really stupid game, go play Call of Duty Black Ops and play the Zombie Map 5 because you can play as JFK and Fidel Castro, and it's Sharpshooter.
I knew we couldn't go a whole show without it.
Sharpshooter.
I knew we could.
Well, a very nice, patriotic, and sentimental, and sharpshooting, and to lucky episode 13 of Birds of Play. John Styler McCrone.
Salute.
Signing off.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
I feel like you just did
and
dishonor by singing that
forget
song.
the man who died and gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the U.S.